That's nice. Oh yeah. That's sick, isn't it? Well, that is the chainsaw of doom and the spinning blade of death. We could cut it there and just give her a push and get her to fall right here. Okay, so this is gonna be our first test run.
So hopefully it will fall off this time.
I would not recommend operating them both at the same time.
All right, good morning one and all. We have something that I think every man would want.
A chainsaw for the end of your skid loader.
A chainsaw for your skid loader. Who the heck wouldn't want that? Except we also have a circular saw for your skid loader as well. So these should mount right on the end. I think we should also try it and see if it'll work on the cast loaders now.
It should, as long as this doesn't require high flow.
We'll assemble the whole thing and we'll put it together. Well, this is by the Limb Saw Company, and we've got a bunch of trees that we do need to. This will help you reach up.
Okay, so there's a chainsaw part to it. Okay.
Yep. There's the chainsaw part. That should be the backing to it, I understand. And then this is the actual chainsaw. 8-foot mast allows cuts from 18 to 20 feet when attached to an average tractor skid loader. That's nice. All right, well, I'm going to hand the camera over to Zach. I'm going to head to Wisconsin, and I'm going to film for Mechalak, and Zach's going to put this stuff together, get it test ran, and get it set up so that we can then go out when I get back and cut a bunch of the trees that we couldn't get at out there. Also, test it out on that skid loader, Zach, and test it out on the cast loader and see if it'll work on both, because it would be nice to know if it needs high flow, low flow, how well it operates. So I'm going to turn the camera over to Zach. If you don't like the footage, blame him. There you go. All right, guys, I'll see you when I get back from Wisconsin. Zach, be good to these guys.
I usually am.
So I had a bunch of questions about this attachment that I wanted to get cleared up, so I actually contacted the production manager for the company directly, and we're going to talk to him in just a minute. But let's see what Zach's up to.
Alright, so I got the chainsaw box opened. I got the skid plate or whatever that attaches to the loaders and whatnot. And I got this arm, which I'm assuming this arm goes with this, because the chainsaw comes with an arm already in the box. We're gonna break open the instructions, see what we need to do in order to get this situated, and then we'll open up that box and see what needs to get to that. Because I think they give you a bracket you can put on this thing too. So I don't know if we got the bracket or not. You can weld it onto the back or drill a hole in your bucket. But we got the convenient little adapter plate that they sent with it for all this stuff. So probably have both of them on there, since they both can fit. We'll have one on one side, one on the other side, just for the video purposes, but I would not recommend operating them both at the same time.
All right, good morning all you guys. I've got Mike from the Limb Saw Company. Mike, you're the production manager for the company, is that right?
Yes, sir.
All right. First off, Mike, what is the idea behind this thing?
The idea is to, push safety.
All right.
To keep a guy out of a bucket with a pole saw, and basically so one guy can do some tree trimming.
Oh, okay. So you guys designed this thing so guys like Frankie and I wouldn't go out there with Frankie going, yeah, just lift me up in the bucket, and then have him go up in the bucket with a chainsaw. What I've learned is the Limb Saw company has two different attachments. The circular saw is really designed to be your trimmer. It's designed to go through the smaller stuff fast, but let's just watch this thing work.
So I got the pole saw assembled. I actually have it upside down right now, so it's just a matter of flipping it around. Then that one I'm going to be assembling the circular saw blade. From there we're going to get some hydraulic hoses made to fit up to attach. Some assembly required.
Now, as an option directly from the Limb Saw company, we could have got 5 foot longer hoses for $50, which is what we should have done.
Sorry about that. A little bit of a family emergency, so. All right, resume with reassembly.
Go up in the bucket with a chainsaw, because I can't tell you how many times I've had to say no to Frankie because it just drives me nuts, and he's willing to do it.
Yeah, when we're at these farm shows, we actually have seen guys with stitches, and their wife was picking them up in a bucket with a pole saw.
Okay, but let me ask you something. You offer two models. You have a chainsaw model, and then you have the circular saw. Which one is better? Well, I mean, why do you have two different kinds, Mike?
What we say is, if you're going to be doing a lot of stuff 4.5 inches in diameter and lower, you would want the circular saw because it just zips right through it. You leave it running as you're cutting through it, and the chainsaw is better for your larger diameter branches.
All right, well, we got the circular saw one assembled. I still got to put the saw blade on and stuff, but that one's all assembled. Chainsaw one's all assembled. It just got to get folded down and pinned in place once you're going to use it. The camera battery died. Yeah, we got to get some hydraulics fitted up because they don't send you with them because they don't know what your tractor or loader or what type of hydraulics, fitting couplers. I'm assuming they ship everywhere in the world, so they don't know what to send with you. So you got to get those yourself. It even says in the instructions that they don't send them, that you got to get them. But so we got to get a couple of connections, and then I don't know, at least 2 feet of hose, I'd say, maybe 3 feet each, just to get up to the hose connection couplers. And then go from there.
Now, let me ask you something. Is high flow mandatory on this thing? Low flow? What is the flow rate that's best used with these things?
Okay, so high flow is not required. The chainsaw requires 7 gallons per minute of flow.
That's
and
it?
The circular saw requires 10 gallons a minute per flow.
I could have a guy blowing on a tube and get more flow than that, Mike.
Well, you just have to look. TractorData.com has the flow rates, and we can also help with that. We're just a phone call away, and we do.
All right, now we're gonna take this shroud off. I got to unbolt a couple of bolts, and then we'll be able to put the saw blade on.
We do take pride in customer service, and we're a small veteran-owned company.
You know, one thing I noticed, I've called you guys 3-4 times with questions, and every time somebody's actually picked up the phone.
Yeah, see that little hole right there? I just stuck this in there, or just something to hold it in place. Yeah, like your normal grinder or any circular saw blade. You just gotta hold it, and then you tighten up the bolt, put the cotter key in, and to stop the bolt from backing itself off. Now we'll just put the cover back on, and like so. And then we got to get the hydraulics fitted up and whatnot. back a few days later. Had some family stuff of when we got into a car accident, and so I had to rush home and deal with that. And then I was gone yesterday dealing with hospital stuff for her. So now I'm back today to finish up the hoses and stuff for the saws, and then hopefully test it, and then we'll go from there. So, all right, just sit back and enjoy me trying to put hoses together.
So you will have to make hoses for these. They do not come pre-assembled with hoses because they don't know what piece of equipment you're going to be putting this onto. So we decided we're going to go with the cast loader for this just to get the extra boom height. Our cast mini loader will extend up further than our skid loader, so we wanted to really get that limb saw up as high as we could go. And since the fact that you don't need high flow, it should work just fine. But that also means we've got to add an extra set of hoses on to get that extra height.
Alright, I got one end on that, one end on that. Now we need to put these ones on. I had to go get, because these sizes are different from these sizes. These are 3/4, this is 1/2 inch. Actually, I gotta go grab some thread tape, and I'll be right back. Alright, if you're gonna do like oil or gas or anything, you want to use the yellow stuff, not the white. The white is for only, I think, for water and whatnot, because these ones are meant for the oil, gas, all that other stuff. So you want to use the yellow if you're going to be connecting hydraulic lines, and you need to put some thread tape on it. And you always want to wrap it so that way it's going to tighten on there, or when you go to tighten it down.
All right, so if guys want more information, where do they go? Where do they find out more about these things?
Limsaw.com, or you can give us a call. Limsaw.com has all the information you would need as far as phone numbers, names, and even some short videos to kind of explain the product a little bit better.
All right. Well, thanks, Mike. Appreciate it.
Yeah, you're welcome.
And we got our ends on, and we just connect everything else up and go from there. So alright, we got our extended hoses into those hoses. I just gotta fold this out, and then I gotta top it up with bar oil.
Just give her a test run once. Okay, we got to get bar chain oil in it. So the mini loader will run it, and the mini loader can, with the extended boom, will reach even higher.
Yeah, then it's normal skid.
Than a normal skid. And then on top of it, with our controls, you can run that chainsaw forward and backward.
Yeah, not that you'd want to run a chainsaw backwards, but
you can, if you're going forward, you get stuck, just pop it back,
yeah,
stick it and go.
Yeah, and you'd be able to maybe possibly unstick it. Otherwise, you gotta try and climb up the tree with a pole saw or something.
Agreed. How much did the line set cost?
The line in was $225 for 5 feet of hose with the ends on, with the ends to couple into these. And
okay.
Then the connectors were, I think, $130.
Okay, so that does not come on the unit.
No, it even says in the instructions, because they don't know what your loader is that you're running it on, that they do not send connections with it.
Okay.
And then I got enough hose on here, so if you want to go all the way down to that bar pin over there and do whatever you want to do with that. So
Perfect.
we'll have enough width filled to boom too.
That's
Okay.
why I made sure we had enough.
Okay, smart. Yeah, because this one will flop down. So just get yourself some extra hose. Okay, so this is gonna be our first test run of the chainsaw on a loader. And we've got a number of branches up above our head. You can see the power line. We're gonna attempt to cut and see how well it holds up. So let's just do this thing.
Which button's forward?
What?
I'm gonna hit the buttons and I want to see which way is forward, green or yellow.
Okay. Yep. Oh, that jugs out. Let's turn that down first.
It is turned down, I think.
Let's turn it off then. Just turn it all the way off. All right, guys, I'm going to jump in here because as you realize, I'm taking you along for the ride as we're learning and figuring these things out. But there's one thing I do want to clarify. On this attachment, you can turn it down to about a 1/8 inch turn, and that's going to give you about 200 cuts. And those 200 cuts are going to burn through about a quart of oil. And the oil it uses is the actual hydraulic fluid from your machine. So just be aware of that. If you're running this thing constantly all day long, you just might need to check the hydro fluid on your piece of equipment. Did you turn it all the way down?
Yeah, I turned it all the way off and then I just cracked it barely open.
Just crack it. Yeah. Yeah, that's still a lot, but that's probably just extra from before. There we go. Keep going. Heck yeah. Heck yeah, baby. Heck yeah. That's nice. Oh yeah. Oh man. That's sick, isn't it? Climb up on the roof so we can get the next shot. Only thing is I've fallen off this roof and it hurts. So hopefully I don't fall off this time. Wouldn't be the first time I fell off from it. Let's go. Hey Willow. What? I had to go through your window. Okay. Of course it would snow today too. Well, let's go for a ride. So I was hoping to get closer to the action so you guys could really see how well this thing is cutting. Except with the GoPro I have zero zoom, and so the roof was my next best option to try to get you guys closer to the action. Now since I made this video, I learned that there's a visual indicator that we didn't even know about while we were originally doing this. So if you end up getting one of these yourselves, make sure you check out that visual indicator because it helps you line up your cuts. And you don't have to use the weight of the machine. The actual power of the saw itself does all of the work for you. I'm gonna tell you guys straight up, this tree we're working on was a big mistake. I was saying this tree we're working on, I put this tree here, I would never do it again if I could go backwards in time. Big mistake. It's a dirty tree. It leans over my house. It leans over the power lines. and the ability to trim that up. I had a tree company come out here and they're like, oh no, we've got to get a spotter from XL and we got to do this and we got to do that. And this machine here just did everything I wanted done for years.
Right.
The only thing I want left to do is take the whole dang thing down and go backwards in time and kick myself in the butt for planting it there in the first place.
You could probably drop it without interfering with anything.
We could now, because the branches aren't hanging over the line. If we wanted to drop it, we could cut it there and just give her a push and get her to fall right here if we wanted to. But I say let's just clean her up for right now and leave it for my future self's problem. Future self.
Future self.
Yeah, future self, you're going to have more work to do.
The right spot.
So it only uses 2 hydraulic hoses to connect the machine to the piece of equipment. So we got both the chainsaw attachment and the circular saw attachment as well. But I cheaped out and decided only to get one set of hoses because I don't see needing both of these at the same time. So we're going to take the hoses off from the chainsaw and add them onto the circular saw and reuse them. 3, 2, 1. Circular saw doesn't use any lubrication at all, so even though it hooks up to the hydraulics of your machine, it doesn't chew up any of your hydraulic fluid while it's making its cuts. The one thing that was noticeable about the circular saw was how fast it zipped through the smaller branches. It just ate them up like an angry beaver. For pruning, that thing is definitely zipped straight through it with zero problem. And I like the fact that there's no oil hookup, no mess.
Yeah, that's for sure.
The Limsaw Company, a cut above the rest. That's where we got these from. And they work just as good as you think they would work.
The only thing we had to do was go get a couple extender lines because they don't send you that, and your couplings. That's the only thing they don't send you with because they don't know what your machine is to hook up to.
Agreed. And we have will you turn that off? We have it on the cast loader simply because it just extends our reach even further. Then that also gives us the ability to go and on lawns and not destroy a lawn. Your work with this tool will be precise as your depth perception allows and the level of your skills in your piece of equipment. It's kind of like being a crane operator. A good crane operator's probably got pretty decent eyesight because their work is pretty far away from them, and that's no difference with this. So if you want to be very precise with this thing, well then you better be pretty good in the piece of equipment you're running and have pretty good eyesight so that you can make better cuts. Think of this as a pole saw with ROPS, rollover protection system. So none of those branches are going to be falling directly on your head. They're falling out in front of you. And if one of them does get away, well, at least you're still in a piece of equipment with overhead protection. That's it. That is the chainsaw attachment by the Limsaw Company. Hope you guys enjoyed going along for the ride. It was fun. I love testing new attachments. So I hope you guys love going along too, because it's nice having you guys with. We got a lot more work to do, but Mother Nature's not cooperating too much, and it's Minnesota, right?
It's April in Minnesota.
April, Minnesota. Why not snow?